Hi there, very warm welcome to this latest video from myself, Ben, here at Bullring Crypto. This is a video centered on how you can stack sats using the Stellar network. Now, nothing in this video is financial advice, it never is, it's information and for educational purposes only. But I am one of the people that believes that Bitcoin will have a greater price in the future than it does now. I'm a firm believer we'll probably see a plus £1 million or $1 million Bitcoin in my lifetime, possibly in the next 5 to 10 years. That is based on my observations of the current legacy monetary system and the flaws there, and seeing the global de-dollarization that is happening at a record speed now. I think there's going to be a need for people to go into a solid reserve. We've known that gold and silver have been a hedge against these fiat currencies for many centuries, and I think they will continue to do that. This is the first time ever we're going to have a massive global disruptance that has digital assets involved. We didn't have that in 2008. This will be the first time round. And like I say, just my findings, just my own personal philosophy on what I envisage happening in the months and years to come. So with that being said, I think hedging into Bitcoin could potentially be beneficial for myself. Please do your own research. Go and have a look and see what you think is going to be happening in that duration of time. But I think that we are going to be having turmoil, and where turmoil is, then we could need hedges. So with all of that said, I am stacking sats. Now, because of the ordinals, BRC20 tokens, and all of the craziness that we've seen over the last few months with the Bitcoin network, we once again are getting to significantly high gas prices. They've always been high. Against Stellar, they've always been ridiculously high. But we're seeing now that $20 and $30 for a Bitcoin transaction is around about the norm. They do fluctuate, they do go up and down, but even when they're low and they're just a couple of dollars, it's still a couple of dollars that you don't necessarily need to spend accumulating the sats. And of course, anyone that's new into crypto will know that sats stand for Satoshis. They are the 100 million parts of a singular Bitcoin. So to accumulate Bitcoins is not as easy because they're, at time of recording, $27-ish thousand each. But to accumulate sats is a lot easier. If we're just making a few bucks on our DeFi operations, we can be accumulating these sats every single day. But to do that with the high gas costs over on the Bitcoin network doesn't make any financial sense, because the transaction or the gas costs would be way more than the sats that you are stacking. So you would be on a negative every day, essentially. The way to do this is to use the Stellar network, where it's thousandths of a cent to send a transaction or an operation, and stack the sats that way until such a time as you've accumulated a big enough chunk of Bitcoin, and then you can transfer it across onto the Bitcoin network by bridging, and then you can hold that Bitcoin in your cold storage wallet, and you can just keep rinsing that same cycle again and again. And of course, this is only if you are long, if you are thinking the price of Bitcoin is going to appreciate over time. Of course, if you think it's going to appreciate over time, what you're buying for $5 or $10 or $20 today could indeed be $50 and $100 and $300 or whatever next year or next week, next month, next year, whenever. So in the future, if you're thinking the price is going to go down and stay down, of course you don't want to be following this strategy. So the first thing that we've got to do here is navigate to one of the farming stroke yield bearing platforms that the Stellar ecosystem offers us. I'm going to probably the most popular one, and that is the Aqua network. Now, Aquarius, being the platform here, allows us to earn their native Aqua token in a couple of different ways. One of these ways is through the SDEX or the Stellar DEX. The Stellar network has a decentralized exchange built into it at L1 protocol level. So that's market making. So on the SDEX side, we get 2 million Aqua. And on the AMM side, or the automated market maker side, there's 5 million Aqua per day. So this is paid out every single day. And that's paid out to a variety of different pairs. So for us just to quickly have a look at some of these pairs, you can see here right at the top, we have a Lumenswap asset, bridge asset of LBTC, which is the bridge token or tokenized wrapped token of Bitcoin, and XLM, which is a native coin of the network. And this has been now one of the top rewarded pairs for a considerable amount of time. And there are also a variety of other pairs that you can see here that you can also get rewards from either making the market, so putting open orders in onto the SDEX, also from the AMM, so putting pairs together, two assets together, and then reaping Aqua rewards for putting those pairs together and providing the liquidity into those pools so they can be freely traded. So at the top here is obviously the most rewards that are going to these, are working down to the least at the bottom. And it's up to you. I mean, you can provide liquidity or you can do operations in whichever way that you feel fit. There are other options. Lumenswap itself offers us monthly rewards. I like the Aqua setup here because it's daily. So we can do those small stacking of sats on a daily basis until we build up our chunk of Bitcoin. Right, so when we've done that and we've stacked our sats, our stack of sats will grow and grow and grow until we have a chunk of LBTC. And I'm just going to scroll down through all of this until I hit, let's have a look, there we go. So now I am at this LBTC. The minimum we can bridge in this asset from Stellar across to the Bitcoin network is 0.01. That is at the minute roughly, as I say, $270 to $280. You will also have to pay a little fee for using the bridge. So it's best just to have a little bit over the 0.01. But you can actually, when you hit that point, you can then take all of those stats that you've stacked, or all of the sats that you've stacked, and you can mobilize them all across onto the network in one go, which is of course going to be better in terms of that gas fee that I mentioned. So that's there in our wallet. And we're now going to move that across into cold storage on a ledger. Move across to our ledger and we can see that I have got this address which I have copied, and I'm going to move it across through the Lumenswap bridge. So off we go to Lumenswap. We're going to scroll down. When we've actually gone to lumenswap.io, we're going to scroll down to bridge and we are going to click on to launch. When we launch the bridge, we can see here that we've got Bitcoin to Lumenswap Bitcoin. Well, we want to reverse that. So we're going from Lumenswap's Bitcoin across to the Bitcoin. The amount, the minimum is 0.01, as I've said, or you can hit max. If you've accumulated more sats than that, you can just hit max. If I hit max there, you can see there you'll convert this amount, the fee, it's taken off, and then this is how much that we'll receive. I'll put my destination address into there. Okay, so now this is the address from that ledger that I just mentioned, and we're going to convert. You must sign here to approve the withdrawal of the LBTC from your wallet. So we're going to sign and send. We're going to confirm, and we're going to wait for that to be picked up on the network. There will be a lag, of course, because the other side, it goes into the bridge And then the other side, it will be an operation or a transaction on the Bitcoin side. So we've got essentially two different transactions we're looking at here. We're looking at the first one, which is on the Stellar side, and then we're looking at the second one, which is over on the Bitcoin side. So it'll be a short period of time before we see that go through and that or those funds arrive in our Bitcoin wallet on our Ledger Live. After approximately 30 seconds I waited this time, we had a pop-up of the transaction hash. A short time after the transaction hash popped up, we then had this second pop-up saying this has been successful. Your LBTC conversion operation from Stellar to Bitcoin was successful. And we can have a look at more details if we so wish, but I don't want to have a look at more details. I just want to go to the Ledger Live, and I want to show you that we just sent has just arrived. Okay, so that's just arrived just literally a couple of seconds ago, and it is for 0.01. Remember, we had to pay the fee as well, so around about $270, just under $270 from Bitcoin. All of that accumulated on Stellar, one gas fee. I think that is one of the most cost-effective ways of stacking sats. Let me know in the comments underneath, has this been useful? Are you going to use the Aquarius network or Lumenswap to start getting monthly or daily rewards, converting those into your favorite currency? We also bridge Ethereum, Solana, and Tezos, so you don't have to do Bitcoin depending on what assets that you want to move across. But of course, please, as always, use due diligence and research these strategies thoroughly, because I don't want you to make any mistakes and I don't want you to lose any funds. So as always, thanks very much for listening. Take care, and I look forward to joining you soon.